Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria is very close, and I can't lie to you guys. I'm so excited for this fight. It's going to be incredible, okay? We're talking about the best stylistic matchup of the year and two fantastic fighters. On one side, you got a guy like Ilia Topuria, man, who is extremely powerful. He's very precise, and his technique is incredible. But thus far, man, you've seen guys like Josh Emmett, like Volk, fall into the trap of being backed up on the fence. And I just don't know if Max Holloway is going to do that. Okay. Max Holloway is built different. He wants to put the pressure on you and he's willing to eat the shots. This guy's never been knocked down in his career. And he's fighting a guy like Ilia Topuria who is dismantling everybody. This fight is going to be absolutely incredible. I cannot wait. And it's going to be one hell of a night. So, yeah, I'm going to break down this fight. And okay, first up, I'm going to talk about Ilia Topuria. Man, I cannot talk and say more good things about this guy's skill set. It is incredible, incredible. In my eyes, I've talked about this before, the best in the UFC. I think he has the best skill set in the UFC. In my eyes, he is the best boxer, okay? You could say Dustin Poirier, you can say Madalena, you could say other guys. I think it's him, okay? This guy's technique is incredible. On top of, his powerful punches and great technique, his defense is great, okay? I know he's been dropped by head kicks, and that's something I'll get into. But look, man, his combinations are really, really fast, okay? He hits like a truck. This guy's not easy to deal with, man. And, he's very physical and strong. And, what he likes to do is get you on the fence. He wants to get you on the fence so he can put together a combination and put your lights out, all right? And that's something that I think people look at way too much because that's what he typically does. But I think this guy can knock anybody out inside the pocket. In the middle of the octagon, I think he can do it. Like, it's not a problem. I think the calf kicking of Ilia Topuria is a very, very underrated skill that he has. We've seen Max Holloway's, calves get chewed up. Gaethje kicked his leg a lot, but didn't really do much. But that was leg kick. Volkanovski kicked the shit out of his calf. Didn't do too much, but I expect Ilia Topuria early on in this fight to go to that calf kick a lot. Max Holloway has a very wide stance. I think that kick is going to be there for him, and I think he's going to try and get that off to kind of neutralize the movement of Max Holloway, right? Look, man, this guy is so explosive on the feet. His counter right hand is a bomb. He works the body really well, and he's very patient. He sets up his shots. I cannot, sit here and tell you much bad things about this guy on the feet, okay? He is, incredible on the feet. And now I'm going to talk about his ground game. His ground game is great. I go back to a fight where he had to use it or used it more than, he really does. And that was against Bryce Mitchell and Yusuf Zalal, okay? Offensively against Bryce Mitchell, Yusuf Zalal, he used it a lot. He has great throws. He is a fantastic wrestler. Versus Bryce Mitchell, he used a ton of submissions, okay? He was throwing up submissions a lot. He has great submissions. I mean, he likes the anaconda choke. He likes the Darce choke. He likes the guillotine. This guy is very dangerous on the ground, okay? What I don't like about Ilia Topuria is I'm not sure about his gas tank, okay? When you're going up against a guy like Josh Emmett, where that was the first time we got to see him go 5 rounds. Yes, he looked fine. But I don't think Josh Emmett, is going to come forward like that, right? Max Holloway is going to come forward. So it'll be a test for him to see how conditioned and how, in shape Ilia Topuria is. A really good thing that I like about him is when he sets up those shots, he doesn't explode into every shot like a jab or an overhand. It's the shots that he sets up that he explodes into. And he has extremely dangerous power, man. His ability to cut off the cage is second to none. He does a fantastic job with that as well. And I'm telling you guys, man, I think Max Holloway's in trouble. I like Max, and I do think this personally is the hardest matchup for Ilia Topuria in the division, easily, actually. I don't really think anybody else beats him. This guy's fantastic, okay? Like I said, man, his submission game is going to be a big threat. I think, we haven't really seen Max Holloway tested with the grappling that much recently, right? I know he has great takedown defense, but I think Ilia Topuria is a top 3 grappler in, the featherweight division. I do. But yeah, man, when I look at Ilia Topuria, man, I see an almost flawless fighter. I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy is very, very, very good. And I'm gonna get into Max. Max Holloway, as we know, a volume boxer. This guy has the most significant strikes in the UFC. He is a guy who will pour on the pressure. The most significant strikes in history in one fight versus Calvin Kattar. He's a dangerous fighter, without a doubt. With that being said, we've seen him lose a couple of times. Last time out, Justin Gaethje looked fantastic. I mean, look, when you go back to that fight, Justin Gaethje, and then you go look at the one versus Poirier, 10 times better. He looked 10 times better shape. And that worries me a little bit. This fight is at 145 pounds. Max Holloway took the time to get to 155 and be a natural 155er. Now he's going back down. How does that compromise his chin? Because at the end of the day, this guy has absorbed the most significant strikes in UFC history, as well as, giving out the most. He has absorbed the most. He is very hittable, okay? What bad things about Max Holloway, man, he does stick inside that pocket a while. He will, extend shots and trade. I don't think he can do that here. He's got to stick and move against Ilia Topuria, man. You cannot, let this guy, trade with him, right? He's got faster hands than Max Holloway. He's going to be, hit harder. Max Holloway is going to have the footwork advantage, I want to say. I don't know about speed. He's going to be taller, so that's a good help again. But we've seen a lot of people try to neutralize Ilia Topuria with the knees, with the kicking game, all right? I think a really, important shot that Max Holloway could land to end the fight is a front kick to the face. I do. Ilia Topuria keeps his chin out when he's boxing. I mean, that's just natural, right? That's going to be a shot that could be there for Max Holloway, as well as knees up the middle could be there. Max Holloway has great takedown defense, all right? I don't know how big, takedowns are going to be in this fight, but I do expect Ilia Topuria to get one at least. Max Holloway is a fantastic submission defense, fantastic takedown defense. I think he'll be okay for the most part. What he does well and where I think he can thrive in this fight, I mean, is putting on the pressure early. He's got to be willing to take some shots, and that's what he does. You know what I mean? He's going to eat some shots. He's going to have to eat some shots and then pour it on in rounds 4 and 5, okay? Versus Gaethje, I think people overrate the performance a little bit, okay? Yes, he, beat Gaethje's ass. I will admit that. But look, man, that kick really compromised Gaethje in the first round. It completely broke his nose, and that's all credit to Max Holloway. I'm not taking anything away. It was a great shot. But how does that fight go without that? I don't know. I think it's definitely a lot closer, but it was a fantastic performance. Last time out at featherweight, he fought the Korean Zombie. I don't even want to talk about that. The other time versus Arnold Allen, I thought he looked great, okay? Arnold Allen is a great fighter. With that being said, Ilia Topuria is much faster than Arnold Allen. He's a better boxer than Arnold Allen. Guys, I like Max Holloway, but I think he's doomed here, man. This is going to be an extremely tough fight. He's going to have to eat a lot of shots in this fight, man. And I think, the pressure boxing is going to help, but he's going to, have to eat a lot of shots. I think we're going to see a battered Max Holloway towards the end of this fight. But if he can rally, I think he can have success. So, I'm going to give you guys my prediction. Ilia Topuria will be the first person to knock Max Holloway out. All right? Look, man, Max Holloway has a granite chin, but he's absorbed the most strikes in UFC history, and he's cutting back from 155 down to 45. It's not going to be an easy weight cut. He got dropped against Gaethje, dropped. But look, man, I think when I'm looking at the people that Max Holloway's faced, I don't think there's anybody that hits this hard with this kind of technique, with this kind of speed. I think Ilia Topuria is a guy that will hold this belt for a long time, and I think he's going to knock Max Holloway out. I think Max is doomed, man. He's had a great career, and I don't think this is the end. He's only 33 years old, but I think he's outmatched everywhere. I think Ilia Topuria is going to take Max Holloway down at one point in this fight. I think he might even be able to wrap up a submission or control Max Holloway. When it comes to the exchanges in the middle of the cage, I think Ilia Topuria is going to catch him with a right hand or something hard. Ilia Topuria is, in my eyes, the most skilled fighter in the UFC. I've talked about it. I already said it. This guy is incredible. I don't see him losing for a long time. I just see, the first round being a little bit slow. I think Max lands a little bit more, but I think Ilia lands the harder shots. I think he busts that calf a lot. I think he hits the calf a lot. It's really hard for me to see Max Holloway winning this fight. And I'm being completely honest, man. I know what he's capable of. I know how good he is. I just think Ilia Topuria is better. He's younger, he's faster, better technique, hits harder, and I'm curious to see it what Max Holloway's game plan is because I don't really know what he can do. He exchanges in the pocket too much, and he's going to get caught with a big shot. And Ilia Topuria is going to land the bigger shots. He works well off angles. He's going to rip the body. I think Ilia Topuria is going to make easy work of Max Holloway. And I don't really understand the line because we're talking about a guy like Ilia, man. This guy is shown how good his boxing is. It is incredible. And Max Holloway is a guy who's known best boxer in the UFC. Ilia Topuria is 10 times the boxer. When it comes to technique, precision, and power, his technique is a lot better. I think he's going to land a big shot on Max Holloway after kicking the shit out of the calf, in the third round, and I think he's going to finish Max Holloway in the third. I think it's going to be a big right overhand, right in the pocket, and I think Ilia is going to shut his lights out, man. I like Max Holloway. I just think he's really outmatched here. I think Ilia, so high of Ilia, and there is a way, of course, I can see Max Holloway winning this fight. He's a fantastic fighter, but I just think, when it comes to the skill sets and what this guy is talking about and his aura, I don't think he's going to lose, man. But look, man, I hope y'all boys enjoyed. That is my breakdown. I'll catch y'all in the next one.